Boom. It looks like we are live. All right, all right, all right. Let's see here. Bridge Lakes CrossFit is there. Boom. All right. There she is.
Hey.
I love it. We're getting started here in a few seconds. Oh, you recognize
Okay.
that?
I do.
I guess you do. Right. So
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna pause that.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Nothing. Just helped finish register for classes for the fall at A&M.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's going
It's
fast.
good to have you. Now you at the gym?
No, we're having it cleaned right now. I'm sitting outside.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do.
Have to
Have the
stay on
gym.
top of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm gonna get started here.
Okay.
Okay. Now I don't see any questions yet. All right. So,
Oh, hi, Katie. That's my cousin, Kate
hey,
Arter.
Katie. All right.
Hi,
Well,
Katie.
I just want to share with you that everyone out there, thank you for coming. My name is Uchenna, and I represent Champions and Legends. And we're a CBD-based sports supplement company. And we produce CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. And this is the weekly Warrior Happy Hour. And we are hanging out, and we're talking to athletes, we're talking to gym owners, we're talking to healthcare professionals who also really are feeling what we're doing and really want to get the information out, the education on CBD and athletes specifically for everyone. So I have with me Michelle Hansen. How are you? And
I'm
Michelle is
good.
with Bridge Lake CrossFit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Let me see. Let me pause this right here.
Okay.
And that's because, we want to pause on your face. Great. All right. We're paused. We're paused. Great.
Awesome.
That's you over there.
I'm
Now,
the redhead.
Who is that with you on the in the picture?
Her name is PJ Martinez. She and I both own, run, and coach at CrossFit at Bridge Lakes CrossFit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys run the gym, you own the gym, and you're making things happen
We
for
are.
CrossFitters. Okay.
We have that, and then we also own, it's called Without Fear Barbell Club, which is strictly Olympic weightlifting. And they don't do any CrossFit or any other training. They're just training to compete in Olympic lifting competitions.
Oh, okay. So those are the real muscle heads. It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somebody already asked, are the gyms all back open here in Houston?
They're open. We're in the state of Texas. We're limited to the capacity that we can have in each class.
Mm-hmm.
So we're right now operating at 25%. So our members have to make reservations 72 hours before each class. Everybody has to stay in a designated lane. They have to use, one lane at a time, gets equipment, and then everything has to be disinfected afterwards. So,
Right.
I mean, it's good to be back. It's a lot easier to work out harder when you have someone next to you pushing you, and a coach is there to help you as well. But we're not at 100% yet.
Right. So I'm sure this COVID thing has kind of held you guys back and kind of made things a little more difficult.
A lot more.
Do what you do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we loaned our equipment out to all of our athletes.
Oh.
And they still had access to all of our programming, so they were able to work out. But the amount of people that actually work out when you're stuck at home and in a rut is a big difference, right? It's why you go to CrossFit or to any class setting for working out.
Yeah, and see, that degree of difficulty goes up when you don't have that push.
Oh yeah,
being there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to move. Just tell me more about the business. Make sure I want get it fully out there, because we got people here that want to know about you, because we have a lot to talk about, you and I.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bridge Lakes, it's been around for 3.5 years. We are in Northwest Houston. We're actually in Cypress, and we're right between Bridgeland, Town Lake, and Black Horse. So we kind of
Okay.
encompass, thus the Bridge Lakes. It's
West of the city. West of the city.
north and west. Yeah, yeah,
West.
yeah.
Okay.
We're Fairfield. Most
Okay.
people know where
Got,
Fairfield is. Yeah,
got you.
290 and
And
uh,
I remember talking to you about like who your clients are and
yeah.
the type of people that are actually doing CrossFit these days. Because I've had my experience with CrossFit, and let me just say, my butt was kicked thoroughly doing CrossFit. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
tell me about the type of people that are in your gym.
So, because of where we are and because we're in a very suburban area, our demographics are usually parents. So, our average age is 41.
Oh,
We
okay.
certainly have younger people in their 20s, but a lot of our athletes at our gym are parents. We're in suburbia. They come either very early in the morning to work out or in the evenings because they've got kids' things to do.
Right.
And most of them have come and grown up very athletic. So they've played sports at some level, whether that was in, collegiate or not, I don't know. But everyone has an athletic background, and everyone um, is competitive and very driven.
Okay. Okay.
With all that, though, comes, which is talking to you is interesting because I've beat my body up for 30 plus years working
Right.
out,
Right.
you know. I used to run marathons and then I trained with a trainer just lifting weights. And then I found CrossFit because that encompasses both the
Right.
lifting and the cardio. And it's never a dull day. It's never boring. It's never repetitive.
Right.
Um, but the older you get, the longer you've beat up your body, the
Right.
more that you need, recovery is as important as working out,
Right.
you
Right.
know. I
So,
would say it's equally as important.
well, that lends to the question Sonny out there asked. What do you recommend to your members on the best ways to recover from these intense workouts?
Um, Continue working out. Most importantly, don't come twice and then not move. You've got to keep moving. You've got to keep going. We always people You need to come in and warm up for a long time. The older you are, the longer it takes your body to warm up. You need to stretch. You need to roll out whatever you've worked on.
Okay.
You need to take recovery days, and for a lot of our athletes, that's a challenge for them to have absolutely days where you don't do anything. You're not, you can have an active recovery day where you go ride a bike or a long walk, but then a day of nothing. Let your body recover, fuel your body properly with the proper nutrition. And then for injury type issues, I use CBD.
Okay.
Um, some people will use Aleve or Advil. The older I get, the less I want to put stuff in my body.
Right.
Um, and I've found a lot of relief with CBD capsules, tinctures, and topical.
Oh, so you use the whole.
All.
I
I
love
told
it.
you, I,
I
I
love it.
have beat my body up for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So, and it all impacts. But by the same token, one of my boys plays hockey and the other one is a competitive golfer. And
Uh-huh.
for them, rather than giving them Advil or Aleve, if you give them a topical CBD
Right.
over where they're hurt, it makes a much bigger impact. And they're not, the person that always has to have the Advil bottle with them all the time.
Right. Right.
Right?
Advil, I mean, I've heard some crazy things about the
Yeah.
over-the-counter stuff and how it's actually affecting people when there is a holistic answer that they just need to be educated on, which of course CBD right now is the front runner of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so a question just came up, and I know you're a beast. Okay, I see you work out, I see you run. Now the question is, how many handstand push-ups do? Now, I've
Pre-quarantiner right now.
well, I tell you, okay, we go pre-COVID, but before you answer that question, I'm gonna tell you a little story.
Okay.
My first time doing CrossFit,
Yeah.
I was like, trying to show off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Started doing the handstand push-ups. I almost broke my neck. Okay, I'm just telling you that. So, okay, how many push-ups can you do? Hands.
I could 10 without breaking, without coming down.
Uh-huh. And without coming down.
Yeah. Now, it's funny because I worked out consistently, but it's those types of things that I'll just do regular push-ups. I don't want to do handstand push-ups. Where at the gym, I would do handstand push-ups, right?
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's fun. I love it. I love that I don't have to ask anyone to pick something up for me or take something down or carry
Mhm.
something for me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
I may have to come out there and take a junior course.
You know what the biggest thing is about CrossFit is you have to leave your ego at the door
Which I
and
have trouble
stay in your own lane. Don't
with.
worry about what that guy's doing. He's been doing it for longer than you. You'll get there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have trouble with the ego thing, so I
Uh-huh.
work on that before I show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you use all different types of CBD products,
I
whether it's
do.
topical, soft gels, and all that. Do you have a preference between full spectrum, broad spectrum, or isolate? Someone just asked that question.
Yeah, I use full spectrum.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why? Why?
The full spectrum has the very small amounts of THC,
Uh,
right? And I have just found that the full spectrum works better for me.
well, we all know. Yeah, we all know that CBD is not created equal, right?
Right,
Gels, they're
right,
all created equal. And
right.
when you're talking the full spectrum, the broad spectrum, and the isolate, you can get some very different results from it.
Sure,
So,
sure. So
we,
the full spectrum, I've just found, I mean, the broad works. I just like the way it works better, quicker. And it's like, oh, this hurts. I'm going to take some and then it's gone. And then I also use it topically for whatever hurts.
right, right.
But I also have, I have Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid disorder.
Okay.
And my doctor and I have tried many times to fix that with taking medicine, thyroid medicine, but I can't tolerate it. I can't, anything that makes you jittery or messes with your heart rate, I can't handle. And so I've just done CBD. Every day I take 2 capsules, regardless of what's going on. I take it every morning, and it's brought my numbers down, my thyroid numbers down.
Okay.
And my doctor's the one that said, since I couldn't tolerate it, to try using the CBD. It'll never get it in shape, but it's manageable.
Okay.
Taking the CBD, yeah. So that's why I take capsules every morning.
Okay. Now, and there's a lot of gut health.
Oh yeah.
Positive results from gut health using the CBD ingesting.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now we talked a little bit about your usage.
Yes.
How about your clients?
So when people ask us about recovery, obviously our first things, rolling, stretching, recovery, active recovery. But I suggest CBD personally. I mean, I used to run marathons and I've had surgeries on my knees, and I'm telling you, I've been through everything. So I've done everything.
Right.
I've used everything. And I remember one of our athletes came in and she said, I know that's just snake oil. And I said, it's not. I promise you it's not. And she was having a really hard time sleeping. And then she came in the next day and she was like, I would pay so much money for that stuff. It's amazing. And I think the reason that I and PJ also, we recommend CBD is because you're not putting chemicals in your body that you don't know what they are, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if it's going to affect your liver. You don't know. The other thing is, if you're taking a lot of medications, then you could have issues with 2 medications mixing in your body and you don't know how all that affects you, right? How it affects your heart, your gut, your blood pressure, any of that stuff. So I just feel much better telling people to take something very natural that really works.
And the thing is, I think another thing that people really need to get in their heads is the whole THC piece. Yes,
right.
It is in at trace amounts in some CBD products, but I mean it's legal nationally,
right?
0.3% or
right,
less, and that's not enough to get you high. Okay.
So I actually talked to my doctor about that because I get blood work done once a quarter, and I said to her, I'm taking the CBD, and it has a minimal amount of THC in it, and should I be worried about it? is it going to show up on a blood test? I don't want, you thinking I'm a druggie or anything. And what she said to me was when they first would test, it did come back and then they would retest the blood. But she said now when they know patients use CBD, they know that's a minimal entry amount to get it into your system and to get it working.
Right.
And from my limited understanding of it is that when you use something with the THC, it gets into your system, but it needs a way to get into your system better and faster.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And we're going to be talking about that even more and more. And I actually want to encourage the viewers to give us topics to talk about at the next happy hour.
Sure.
And get into the weeds a little bit on some of these topics. So
right.
One of the questions that just came from the audience is what made you a believer? And I know we kind of talked about it, but what made you a believer in CBD?
So I follow a lot of CrossFitters, obviously, on Instagram. And I just saw, what was the tipping point for me is I get migraines and someone said she was taking, instead of taking migraine medicine, she was using CBD. And if you get migraines or someone has migraines, I would take anything for my headaches. So that started it. I'm a little bit suspicious of like, buy this diet supplement, buy this tea, you know what I mean? I don't believe a lot of what I see, but I was willing to try it to see if it worked with my migraines, and it did. And then I thought, it says it works on joints and other issues. And so it was a slow process, but when I tell you I was taking 2 to 4 Aleve a day, I am not lying. And I always had to leave in my purse. I don't even carry it anymore because I just use CBD. And the topical is the shit. It really is.
We gotten to the topical conversation yet because I've been in sports for a long time, on the knees, the back, the shoulder, all these different things, and I have had the pleasure of using some of the Champions and Legends product, and this is doing something, and Champions and Legends has a full spectrum product as well.
This question says, do you think natural remedies is a trend among athletes? I think it is a growing trend. Because in athletes, if you're going to take the time to take care of your body physically,
right.
And with age and with all that comes injuries, but we all want to push ourselves. We also are careful of what we put into our bodies, right? It doesn't make any sense for me to track my macros and eat healthy and then take 4 Aleve every day. It just doesn't make sense. So I do go to cryotherapy because it helps with inflammation as well. Mm-hmm. And that's another natural thing. And I think all of us are looking for a natural, easy way that we can help ourselves without, like I said, dealing with concomitant medications you're taking at the same time. Eating, it doesn't make sense. It's just like working out really hard and then going home and eating a hamburger and a Coke. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I do think that's a trend.
It is a major trend. I agree with you. And then, we want to talk a little bit about kids and athletes because your son is a kick-ass hockey player.
He is.
Play since he was what, 5?
5. Yeah, 5. And he's 18, so he's about to try out for A&M's team.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And CBD. Are you sharing this with your son?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He had his wisdom teeth out, and I gave him CBD instead of Advil or Aleve or Tylenol for the pain.
Right.
Whenever he also runs track, so he would, easily pull something or just overdo it and cramp up, and so he uses the topical as well. Okay. My other son plays competitive golf, and he has elbow and shoulder pains, just from the constant swinging, and he uses topical. He gets cupping done and uses the topical CBD, and that wipes it out.
Okay. Well, I'll ask this. This is a personal question.
Okay.
Does Jack give golf lessons?
Yes.
He does?
He does.
We'll work something out.
It's amazing. He can watch you take 3 swings, and that fast he'll tell you what you're doing wrong and he'll fix it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe he'll give me the homeboy hookup. I pay for the round. I get the coaching free.
Yeah. He'll coach you until you're able to beat him. Then he's out.
Then he's
Then
out.
he's not. Yeah. Then he's not coaching you anymore.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I truly appreciate you making time to
Yeah. Of course.
talk to me today. Congratulations on the gym.
Thank you.
Tell the boys I said hello.
I will.
Well, and listen, if you want to come back, down the road, because
Sure.
you're gonna probably get another invitation.
Sure.
And geez, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So everybody, that's Bridge Lakes CrossFit right
Yep.
there. Bridge Lakes CrossFit. Go and enjoy yourself. And I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to you coming out and working out.
I will come out. This isn't just talk. This isn't. Just,
I know.
But I'll have to wait till. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much.
Bye, friend.
Michelle, and it's always good to see you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, so next up, Michelle was awesome. Next up, we got a special guest, another special guest, who comes from the football world. Now, as you know, last week we had we had Trey Williams, but this time we're going all the way to the CFL. Okay, and we're bringing. Let me send him that invitation, and he should be on with us, and he should be on with us in a second. Yeah. So, as you can tell, people are using CBD all over the country, small gyms, big gyms, and it's making a major impact. So we're at Champions and Legends, we're all about seeing what we can do with these athletes, helping people be the best version of themselves in their endeavors, in their athletic endeavors. So let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find Cam. He's probably about to come on. There he is. Boom. And add him. Ladies and gentlemen, I will give you Cameron Judge. There he is. Cam, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's up, Uchenna?
Hey, good to see you, brother.
Hey, you too.
Man, let me see if I can find. Oh, there he is. There he is. Number one linebacker for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Is that right?
I'm trying to be.
Trying to be. Come on now. Hold on now. Don't think back on me now. I've seen the Instagram photos with the muscles and everything going. Yeah, it's good to have you, man. It's good to have you.
Hey, good to be here.
And I've seen you. I've followed your athletic career all the way through high school. Seeing you doing your thing at UCLA. Oh, wait a minute. Bam, UCLA, huh? What? Big time at UCLA. As you know, your dad and I are Ducks. Okay, and I won't hold that against you. But it's really good to see your career flourish. When you went first round in the Canadian Football League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Second pick for the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and grin. You can grin. That's right. Yeah, young fella. This is my chance to mess with you a little bit too, man.
All right.
Well, I always want to ask the athletes, because you are playing at the highest level. I always want to ask the athletes, let's talk about that journey. And because, making it through high school, making it through the UCLA program, there's injuries and a lot of stress. And then boom, now you're in the league, and then, there's always somebody looking to take your place. And you got to train, and then there's the off season. All right, I can talk all day about it, but tell us about your journey and what that was like for you and how you had to sort of adjust to the process of becoming a professional athlete.
Oh, well, man, that started early for me. I'd say being my career, I was actually pretty lucky. I didn't have any injuries going into college.
Mm-hmm.
And then my freshman season, I tore my labrum in my shoulder.
Okay.
So that was my first time facing an injury and, sitting out of football, doing the thing that I've known my whole life. And so that was the first time, I had to focus on other things other than just playing, working out and playing and focus on getting myself right. It's so much more than just sitting back and healing. You got the rehab, your diet can go into it, all sorts of things. And that's just what I was kind of learning my freshman year dealing with that injury.
Mm.
And then it so happened, oh, what's up, Buka? Appreciate you coming by. And then again, my rookie year as a professional, I had a labrum injury again as well.
Oh, same arm?
And no, my other one this time. And yeah, that was a whole nother step in learning how to approach being a professional because, you have a whole you have a whole free schedule, nothing's scheduled for you to do, it's pretty much all entirely up to yourself. And so I actually kind of lucked out. I had another quarter left at UCLA after my rookie year. So I went back to do school. So it was kind of a similar program to off season in college. I was going to class and then working out before class, going to class.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I just got to try to take that foundation, into last off season when completely free again, so I'm set my workouts up in the morning, get my day started and just try to have a productive day each day,
Right. Well, I mean, talking about productivity, I might start with this. Everyone should know that you come from a pedigree of athletic prowess. Okay.
Yeah.
Your dad played football at Oregon, where I was at, and he was a stud there. And then now I see your brother he actually was signed with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders as well last year, but he had an injury that kept him out, right?
Yeah.
And then your sister is out in London doing, she's a fitness goddess out there. So I mean, okay, I'm just letting people know who they're dealing with on the Instagram today.
So,
You
yeah.
know? So I mean, you see the question there, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So what is the CFL policy on CBD use? Because I know you guys have one.
No, I mean, just pretty much, yeah, you can use it up there. Like, I mean, they only really test for steroids and PEDs up there.
Okay. So the beast mode is in full effect up there, and guys are recovering with. Now, do you use any type of over the counter stuff?
No, I don't.
No. Okay.
Uh-uh.
Guys, keep it clean. You know, what is the regimen? Because one of the big things I like to ask people, because you're a linebacker, man, so you have a car accident every play.
Yeah.
So I mean, by the end of those games, you are beat to beans. So, what do you do to kind of get from that Friday, Saturday, Sunday game, whatever time that is, to being ready for the next week practice and another game in a week?
Man, well, the one thing I've learned being a pro, it starts even before those 3 days. My first head coach I had in Saskatchewan, he had the ice tubs mandatory after every practice, try to stay ahead of the recovery.
Right.
And, just because you try to catch up to it and getting rid of injury, that's bad. So, just staying ahead of injuries, getting massages, cold tubs, all that. And, just doing what you need to do to make sure you feel right come game day.
Okay. When do you incorporate the CBD? Do you take it, you ingest it? Do you use topicals? I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, I just had a little pen and especially late night after games, your adrenaline's rushing. Man, I used to be up all night after the games. So I'd use that. I'm getting my sleep in. And actually the first time I really started using it was after my second surgery because my first time I was using the pills they gave me and I couldn't eat. I'd wake up in my sleep, have to take another one just to go back to sleep. And then so my second time I was using the CBD and I felt I was out of my sling sooner. I was sleeping way better. I didn't lose as much weight.
Okay.
Like, and I just felt like I feel sick taking those pills. So my second surgery, I only took them for 1 or 2 days, and I
Uh,
just used CBD.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the recovery was even better when you were using that, so your body could work with the CBD and work naturally to recover. Where in a lot of the pain meds and stuff probably inhibited that process, huh?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the first time I had heard, it was one of the Diaz brothers, the UFC fighters,
Yeah.
and he was in his post-fight conference, and he had one of the pens, and he's just like, man, like I need this after I fight. Like I just took a beating, like, and then that's when I started looking into the stuff, and yeah, and like it's not, it has no psychological real effects either. Like it's just, it's like straight recovery, like
Right.
getting you right.
And that's a big thing for people to understand that when they're using CBD, it's not a whole psych thing. It's not, you're not getting high, and it has the maximum medicinal effects, and that's huge. That's really huge.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. Tell me a story. Tell me something. Because I know in your journeys as a pro, there's always stuff going on, things that are happening. And I'm always curious to know, just share something. Now, if you rip on me, I'm gonna call you daddy. But it's okay if you choose to.
All right. So you wanna, what you want? A
Just tell me
story?
a little story. Just give me some insight on the inside of the pro game. And what you guys are doing, or even if it's a college experience. I'm just give me anything.
You know what? That's actually pretty, in the CFL especially. I feel like it's kind of like a pro experience, like no other for sure. Because like the money's definitely not as prolific as the NFL's money, So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it brings a lot of the guys real close together, because we even have some guys who live in the dorms and stuff. So guys will be cooking and stuff, and we
Yeah.
basically have like some potlucks throughout the week and stuff. It's fun. Like that's my favorite part about the CFL, and then even things like at the CFL awards,
Mm-hmm.
like we driving around, like they have volunteers to drive us around, so like it's a nice interaction and stuff, which I feel like you don't get in other leagues. But I'm getting kind of off topic there, but
No,
yeah,
that's
it's just like
that's
just the
good.
thing, just like guys be real close up there, and like it's just, it's like kind of like being in a extended college up there as a professional though. But guys are really about their business too. Like they got families and stuff, so it's like a different level of trust and respect. When you can trust the guy next to you, because you relying on him to get your job. I mean, to do his job in order you get your job done. To
Right.
provide for your family and stuff. So when you get that level of trust, it's something special. And yeah,
Okay.
so that's, yeah.
Well, I know it surprised you when I had my guy Devere Posey to come and holler at you at a game.
Oh yeah. Did he tell you how our interaction went?
No, he didn't.
Oh, so he's in that slot receiver, and he comes down to try to block me, and so it started the game. I'm trying to set the tone. So we wrestle around a little bit. We're on the ground. I looked at him. I'm like, hey, you Chinna? And he goes, oh yeah, that's my dog. So we just had a quick laugh, dapped up real quick, got back to our
Okay.
huddles and stuff.
Okay. So just so you fans know, I was on the CFL field for a split second. I'm gonna take credit for that. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Devere Posey's a good guy, and I think he might actually be coming to join us. He's an Ohio State receiver. But and I appreciate that. Now, let's roll back to CBD. What other tools do you use for your active recovery routine in addition to CBD?
The biggest thing is stretching. Stretching is one of the best recovery things I've found to use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can find about 30 minutes a night just to get some stretching, you could be watching TV, watching a movie, doing whatever, get a good stretch, roll out, and drink some water. I mean, you have me feeling right.
Oh, that's
You
awesome.
could get some of that CBD in,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. It looks like, hey, Trey Williams is out there watching. I see he just popped in. So, and he's an A&M guy,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see him out there as well. So you know, you're drawing some activity out there, man. Um, so you know, Cam, you know, I appreciate you coming out. And I think the big takeaway for me is that you have to continue to stay on your game when you're off. You know, it's like game day is game day, but there's a whole 7 days between games, and there's a lot to do in that process. So you're killing it, man. You're killing it. I'm excited for you. You know, when does the league open back up? When you guys going back to camp and all that?
We, as of now, the earliest we can is September, but we just gotta wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, man. But I wish you the best of luck, and maybe this year I can come up and see one of them games if it ain't too snowy.
Oh, hey, don't be scared. You can handle it. Come on, Mr. Amazing Race. You can't brave for some snow.
If I can avoid the cold, I will, man. I will.
Hey, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. But tell me, you were actually born in Canada, right?
Yeah, I was born in Montreal.
Okay. Yeah, born in Montreal, but you were raised in Cali, so you're still a Cali guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Surfer, you know. Yeah. UCLA.
Yeah.
Man, you should have been a duck.
Hey, you gotta talk to Don Pelham for that one.
Okay. In fact, he's at UCLA now.
Right?
For
The year
fans out there, Don Pelham was he the defensive coach?
linebacker coach, I think.
Linebacker coach. So he was a linebacker coach at Oregon, and now he's at UCLA. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. Everybody ends up at UCLA except me. You know, I have to say, I didn't lose to a UCLA guy, but one time my entire college career. I'm just going to say that. And he ended up winning. He ended up breaking the world record in the long jump. Okay, I'll give him props on that. Anyway, Cam, again, thank you so much for taking time and being with me today. Hopefully we'll have you out here again, but I definitely want to see you play and get down in the coming season. All right?
No doubt, man. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Say hello to the fam, okay?
All right, will do. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Cheers.
All right.
Wow, you guys, that was Cam Judge. I didn't really realize I knew so many guys that have taken it to the next level in athletics. And he's a good guy and is always good with the kids. He does things, events and different things where he can. And I'm excited to know him. Now, I want to give you guys a little update. We're about to have a healthcare professional, and I think you guys saw her last week. Crystal Hadnot. And I asked to have her back because her insight as a doctor, okay, and she doesn't like me to use doctor, her insight is incredible. And she has a wide range of understanding of the, fans love Crystal. She has a wide range of understanding, not only CBD, not only its effects and the way it can actually help people, but she's a user of CBD for very serious medical reasons. So when she speaks, man, I listen. And so I wanted to have her back. And that's what we're going to do next, okay? Let me see if I can find Crystal. Let me invite her in. Boom! Crystal, coming to you live. There she is.
Hey!
Crystal, it's good to have you back. I had to
Good to be back.
Yes. I had to pub you up a little bit before you came on because I know how
Yeah, I heard the doctor comment. That's cool.
I didn't think you would catch that. Let me just throw up Dr.
I did. Just call me Crystal.
Hey, I'm
good with that.
But it's important for folks to know that you're not just shooting from the hip. You're not just talking out the side of your mouth.
I actually went to school.
Yeah, you actually went to school.
A little bit. For
Yeah,
a long time.
one of your fans, George, says, "What's good, Crystal?"
What's good?
Yes. So you have fans already. So let me just jump right in, because for those who didn't see you last week, need to know what your journey is. And then also we want to talk about your business, because you do this for a living. You will be the best version of themselves, which is right in line with what champions and
So I tell people my goal is to help people achieve peak performance, wherever that performance is for them. Not necessarily athletic performance, but whatever your particular peak performance is. My goal is to help you get to that optimum state of health.
Excellent, excellent. And that's, that's what it's all about. As you know, champions and legends.
Hey,
Is Tiff's on there? Okay, I don't know Tiff yet, but I'm glad.
She's the tax lady.
Huh?
She's the tax lady.
Oh,
yeah.
I need to meet you. Yeah, you see, we doing business. That's awesome. You got your first question just came up.
Okay.
Can you see it?
What makes you so passionate about using natural solutions to achieve peak performance? Well, one, I've been an athlete for a lot of my life. Always enjoyed sports. I started, at not too young of an age, 5, playing tennis.
As possible.
So I started playing tennis at the age of 5, and played throughout to college, and post-college stopped playing tennis and became a marathon runner. So my passion comes, one, because I have been a person who body required to perform. And I've also been a person who struggled with performance because of injury, because of health issues. So I've always been so passionate to help others to know that whether you have an injury or dealing with health ailments, you can still perform to peak performance and do it naturally. And CBD is one of those therapy mechanisms that I also refer to my clients, because not only is it something that I think is amazing, it's something that I actually use for myself.
Yes. So you're not only a client. No, you're not.
I'm not only the person who's actually dishing it out and using it, but I'm also a client.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
A Hair Club for Men slogan.
Hair Club for Men slogan.
Exactly. So, all right. I don't want to get too far off of this, because I really want to focus on your business. There's people out here that can use your services. So really get into what you do, because we got a lot to talk about tonight, but I really want to give you, just really dial in.
Okay. So what I do is there's 2 ways people come to me. One, consultation, which is the more personalized, direct way that people work with me. Through consultation, I actually create an individual protocol, not just like a meal plan. So you don't come to me and I give you a meal plan and be like, here, use it. You can Google a meal plan. It might not necessarily work for you, but meal plans are a dime a dozen. So I actually create a complete protocol that's personalized for your specific issues. And the way we do that is I try to figure out, like, what are the irritants that you have, or what's the issue, and we try to dig in and figure out the root cause, and not just deal with your your symptoms that you're displaying, but figure out what's the root problem at hand. And so we figure out what that is, remove that from your system, and then start replacing and healing your body with nutrients. Right. And CBD is one of those nutrients that I use. Okay.
See, I have an addiction to cookies. Is there a
So cravings actually it's a scientific way of your body talking to you. It could be one or two things. It could be a gut imbalance that you're having. It could be also a vitamin deficiency that you're having, because your brain, because you didn't go to school and learn the science, your body is not going to be like, oh, I really want some vitamin C. Like, that's not what's going to come to your head. It's going to display as a particular food that may have that vitamin in it, and that's where your body is actually telling you you're
Okay.
deficient in something.
That makes
So yeah, so that's where cravings actually derive from. Your body's actually missing out on something, or it can be attached to emotion. So I deal with the client from a physical, emotional, spiritual perspective. So a lot of times we have cravings that's attached to a particular emotion. I talk to clients, I'm like, okay, tell me more about this craving that you have. Tell me a little bit more why you really like this food. And when was the first time you can think of or remember that you actually had that food? And a lot of times it's attached to a memory from your childhood. For instance, if it's cookies, it could be that when you were younger, your parents, when you had good grades, took you out to get cookies. And so now the way the body translate that as an adult is, you know, you really killed it on your job today, and you like all of a sudden craving cookies because that it's that emotion that's attached to you did a good job today, so
right.
you deserve a cookie. And that's attached to emotion from your childhood. And so it's just a trigger. Your body always triggers emotions because your body remembers emotions and events and experiences. Just like it does trauma, it remembers the same thing as far as happy moments.
Okay, that makes sense because like when I'm stressed out and I have like anxiety building up in me, I need crunchy food. I need like corn and
it's just your body displaying an emotion in that way. A big thing like right now with COVID-19, a lot of people have very nervous tension set up into their bodies at the beginning because they didn't know what to do. So you had a whole lot of people like going back and forth to the store, even though they didn't know what they want from the store and they don't know why they're going to the grocery store. That's that same nervous tension that's now displaying as an action of going to the grocery store multiple times or opening up your refrigerator, even though you're not hungry, multiple times, because that's just your nervous tension that's acting out.
Right.
Your body.
Right. In fact, one of the viewers, Sonny says,
I must give you cookies when you're bad.
classic.
Yes.
Yes. I'm telling you,
Or you could have snuck and ate cookies when you were a kid.
You sneak.
And now when you're sneaking doing bad things, now you crave that cookie.
Right. One of your other fans, George, asks, how do you suggest clients manage their stress?
That's also very individualized deal as well. Because first I try to figure out like what type of stress, because there's different levels of stress. There's acute stress, there's chronic stress, and what are those stressors? So we first identify what your stressors are. We identify whether it's acute or chronic, and then what is that stress that's displaying and why is it happening? So it's not just like go meditate.
Right.
You know,
go meditate.
Really? Go take a long bath. Your stress is gonna go away. No, that's not. I mean, it sounds good, and it's a possibility that it could solve your problem. But the reality is that you have to always get to the root cause of something and really go through that 5 questions of the why and the how and the what. And that's basically how we come up with a personalized or individualized stress action plan. And so that's what I call it. And they have it armed when they actually display different types of stress, because your stress on your job versus the stress of losing a loved one versus the stress of going through a global pandemic are all different, which requires all different ways of handling them.
Okay. Well, I find myself eating equally more than I need to with all.
Yeah. Some people, I mean, your actions to the stress will be the same, but the cause of the stress are different. And so you have to actually, your brain knows the difference, although you may not understand the difference. Your actions may be the same, but your brain is displaying the difference. So that's kind of why it's important.
Yeah. So when I look at the list of the benefits of CBD, anxiety
is a big one.
Yeah.
Anxiety, which is insomnia, because a lot of times when people are stressed, they have trouble not falling asleep, but staying asleep. And so really CBD really helps with not just, because I tell people it's not putting you to sleep, it's the act of having REM sleep and staying asleep.
Right.
that the CBD does. So it basically talks with your immune system and those stressors and those receptors that goes to your brain. And so
Right.
that's kind of how the CBD works and operates. And that's where the calming effect happens. That's why it's really, really one of the number one new medications now that they're treating people with epilepsy, because the body's response to an epileptic attack is very similar to when you're going through high level stress. And so that's why now it's one of the highly recommended drug of choice for people who are experiencing epilepsy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Especially in children. So CBD is really popular because the actual prescription that's given from a medication perspective may be too strong and harsh for a child's body. So kids, they give CBD to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's huge. That's really
Yeah.
huge. When you're talking about anxiety, I mean, every athlete that
Yeah.
has been on the show, has been on the happy hour, has talked about sleep, getting
Yeah.
proper for recovery and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So CBD could be the answer for a lot of us.
Yeah, I tell people anywhere from epilepsy to autoimmune deficiency to anxiety to insomnia to chronic pain to acute pain to inflammation and recovery. I mean, you name it, CBD is like the foundation therapy for all of those things.
Let me ask you a question, because you've dealt with some other athletes from different levels and doing different things, and you are a dietitian. So this is a question that was really asked.
I'm a nutritionist, not a dietitian. There's a difference.
Nutritionist. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Dietitians prescribe diets.
So the question is, does the diet change during the season versus off season for?
Oh God, yes, because your level of activity does. For instance, when I'm in marathon training, especially someone like myself who actually has an autoimmune deficiency, I have to eat probably 1,500 more calories a day
Wow.
when I'm in training, because my goal is not to, especially when you're doing like long-term cardio, endurance level cardio like that, you don't want to burn out your muscle, because all of that activity, you're not just burning fat, but you're also burning at your muscles. So you have to feed those muscles to stay, which is why a lot of marathon runners are super, super thin and don't have as much muscle as sprinters, because they have with the distance running, you burn muscle very easy. And so because of the long endurance cardiovascular activities. So yes, so diet definitely changes, but my diet also changed from season to season. And that's why I try to train my clients. What you eat in the fall should not be the same what you eat in the winter, should not be the same what you're eating in the spring, should not be the same what you're eating in the summer.
Really?
It's always also important that you're eating foods within their season.
Oh.
Just like hunters and gatherers and farmers did back in the day. They ate what was in season, because that's where you get the food at its higher level of nutrient density.
Okay.
So if you eat an apple now, right now they're in season. So there's more nutrient in an apple during this season than it will be for an apple in the winter.
Okay. Okay.
Now, it could be the same apple, but it's not going to have the same amount of nutrients.
Oh, okay. But I can count on cookies being about the same. I'm just kidding.
Well, cookies is not real food, so they're not going to ever be in season.
Exactly.
How much you making them yourself out of oatmeal?
Okay, so we did talk a little bit the other day about what is and what isn't good food. And in addition to that, how does food directly relate and help people using CBD?
Well, I tell people CBD, this is an analogy I use with my clients all the time. You don't put on deodorant unless you take a shower. You can't be funky and then put on deodorant. That's what you're doing if you have a bad diet, but you're taking CBD.
True.
So that's kind of the analogy I use. Like, you have to shower and put on deodorant. You can't just put on deodorant without taking a shower. So taking a shower is you actually eating a nutritious diet. Putting on the deodorant is the CBD.
Okay, got you, got you. Golly, what a great analogy. That is a fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take us off task for a little bit because you told me when we talked.
Oh Lord, it was something that we talked about offline. Okay.
Yeah, we talked offline. You said you do not have food in your freezer. What is that?
No, I don't have food in my freezer.
So what do you have in your freezer? I mean,
I have therapy objects in my freezer.
okay.
Like a foot roller. I have a crystal roller for under my eyes because I'm of a certain age and I don't want to have bags. I have ice packs for my back in case I have some back issues, but I don't have food in my freezer because I don't believe in freezing food. I believe in eating food fresh.
Okay.
Because you break. So freezing food is processing food. And that's what I always try to get people to understand. My goal is to eat my food as less processed as possible. So as soon as you put it in the freezer, it begins a processing of the food.
Oh,
so it's just like overcooking food where you lose the nutrients. Same thing from a different end of the spectrum, whether you're adding extra heat or putting extra ice on it. It's the same thing. You're processing that food. So it's no longer holding the same amount of nutrients as fresh food.
Okay, well, cool. I wanted to touch on that because, I have stuff in the freezer and, ice cream is not considered food really.
Well, it's also beef burger day. So I'm sure a lot of people have burgers in their freezers that they're popping out tonight.
Right.
So,
I've kind of started leaning towards turkey, ground turkey for my burgers now. So that's helped. That's helped maybe a lot. I don't know if that helps at all. So I want to jump into, because there's some other topics that I really wanted to get into with you with regards to CBD. And,
okay.
CBD has been around for over CBD, cannabis has been around for over 3,000 years. Okay.
Yes.
It's been around being used.
It's a plant.
Yeah. And it's been around, a plant. It's been around. It's been used for health benefits for many, many thousands of years.
Yeah.
Now we're stumbling over it. We're stumbling.
No, we're not stumbling over it. It's just that my first life, I was a lobbyist. Let me tell you how DC works.
Okay.
So if CBD becomes the go-to, there's a large industry, and we live in a capitalist society here in America. If it becomes the go-to answer, it takes a whole industry that's making a ton of money, i.e. pharma, big pharma. It will knock them out. And government knows that, which is another reason why they have a patent, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day. But they know that it has the possibility of replacing a lot of pharmaceuticals. Okay. And so it will replace a lot of stuff simply because you don't have the same side effects from CBD for a lot of treatments than taking medication. I tell my clients all the time, when you take medication, you have to heal 2 times.
Oh, okay.
You're not healing. You're healing from one, whatever you're taking the drug from, but then your body has to heal from the actual drug itself. Got you.
Wow. Okay, listen, I see a timer here that says I got 1 minute and 34 seconds left. I don't know.
Yes.
So we have a lot of topics to talk about. I want to get back with you. I want to talk about the mystique behind CBD. I want to talk about the myths around CBD when we get together again. I want to talk about the differences so that people can really understand, hey, man, I am not getting high using CBD, and those differences.
Yeah. And somebody just asked a quick question. The side effects from CBD products, no, I have, only thing that I would say is that there's a difference between a cleaner version of CBD and some CBDs it's not as clean, as well as a potency. There's some CBD that is 500 milligrams and some that are 2,000 milligrams, just like you do with painkillers. So
we'll talk about.
There's strength of CBD I have not personally had any side effects. But I know for myself with an autoimmune, I can't take 500 milligrams because it does nothing for me.
Right.
I have to take
got
something that's at least 1,500 milligrams or more.
Okay. Well, I got 25 seconds to sign off. Thank you.
It was good.
We will see you the next trip. Champions and Legends, weekly Warrior Happy Hour. We will see you guys again.